So that was a bust, but kind of sort of not. I wanted to go to the Family Dollars, but the one that I live near, that's walking distance, cashier did not come in or does not come in till later, and they're only taking card. Well, you know me, I try to be strict on my little budget, and I only pull out cash to spend. So I didn't bring my cards. So I couldn't get what I wanted to get from the Family Dollar, so I had to go to the convenience store across the street to get what I wanted to get. But anyway, that ain't what this is about. I don't share with you all a lot what I went through as a woman. Of course, I don't look like nothing I've been through, but I'm talking to women and men in their late 40s, approaching 50, and we done been through a lot. We got stories for days to share with young people, only if they'll listen. Sometimes they hear us, but they listening, but they not hearing us. If that means, it's deeper when you can hear somebody. Then you can hear somebody, you can feel somebody. You just listen, you like, like the Charlie Brown cartoon, they listen, they it just. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is, if you're in a relationship with someone and they not treating you nice, because I was in situationships. I can't even say the relationships because we didn't relate on a darn thing. That people stay in and you wonder why they stay in situations. The abuser, whether it's physical, emotionally, mentally, financially, however it be, they don't ever cut up when people are around. So of course, family and friends, they don't see that side of the person. I had situations where I was in situations with people and they was all this and that. Of course, the family loved them, liked them, whatever, was cool with them, because they didn't see that dark, evil side that I got to see when everybody, was gone. And sometimes, you vent to your family and they get tired of hearing it. They're like, well, Nikki, just leave. Sometimes it's not that easy, especially if that person them verbally beat you down to where you think you nothing. They even got you thinking your family don't care nothing about you. Like, that's how bad it can get sometimes. Or they made you fearful that if you leave, something might be done to you or your loved ones. So, just be cautious and, pay attention to, like, if you have a friend girl or a guy friend that's, girl, even men go through it. I've been around men who the women just talk to them pure trash. And I'm like, oh, heck no. But as a woman to being with someone who would talk to them as like pure trash, I can see the signs a mile away. I even get on my sons about, how they may or may not speak to their girlfriends. And if I hear them come out their mouth sideways, I try to check them in a, respectful, loving way. Like, no, 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 we don't do that. Although, my children, thank God, didn't experience a lot of stuff. It was a lot of tension in the home because I decided to keep the peace. I decided not to see them, not allowed them to see me go through the abuse. Now, we fought like cats and dogs behind doors and in the car, but they didn't get to see that. I didn't grow up seeing that with my grandparents, although they had been married 40 plus years by the time I came along the picture and really knew what the world was going on. Not to say they didn't have their moments as a married couple, young couple, but by the time I came in the picture, it was already love established. It was already basic understanding established. My grandmother had her roles in the household, and my grandfather had his roles on the outside of the household. And it's just what it was. It was no arguing about who gonna do this, who gonna do that. Bills always got paid on time. We always had food. My grandma always had her needs met. Her sisters was always over there. She was always on the phone. My grandfather always had his friends coming over, or he was going over their house. It was never, oh, why you going over there? Why you hanging out over there? It was none of that. I didn't see none of that. So when I got older and I was getting in these situations and the guys was trying to control me and tell me, I couldn't hang with this person or who I'm on the phone with. And, when you're young, you don't know. You think it's cute, but it's not cute. It's controlling. And that's how it starts. Thinking stuff that's cute when it's really controlling. And then, of course, it gets to the point where, like, you may be down. They may be the only one working. And you depending on them and you feel like you got to listen to what they got to say because they the only one working. So I'm not going to make this video any longer. But this is for anybody who's going through stuff. And, your outlet is to get on TikTok or social media and just, remove yourself for a moment from your reality. I hope you come across this video, and I hope that my message sparks something in you for you to figure out your exit plan safely. If you have to wait till they leave to go to work or go hang out with their friends, you leave everything in that house. I was gonna cuss. Take you and your children, your dog, whatever, and do not come back. I had a classmate, I don't even want to talk about it because people might know who I'm talking about. She went back because he said he wanted to talk to her, and she never, that was the last we ever talked to her, the last we ever saw her. So it's serious out here. They know how to, string us along, and man and female. There's been women that's done taking men lives, and there's men that's taking women lives. So don't think it's just, the men doing all of it. It's women too.